We're recording now, right? Yeah, okay, the mic's going. You guys have no idea. I just recorded this entire video. It was like 20 minutes long. I gave a lot of thoughts. I went into depth, and my microphone wasn't recording the entire time. I'm going to record this entire fucking video again, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit worse. I'm fed up. All right, I've had a lot of technical issues today, and I'm not jacking it. All right, I'm not. Welcome back. This is a more casual video. I want to start a series where I just go into depth about all the first round playoff matchups, and of course we'll do the second round and the conference final. We'll do all that. So first, I think it is only right to start off with the Knicks. I am a Knicks fan, as you can see behind me, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be truthful. Like, I'm not gonna have any bias here. I think the Knicks actually have a problem with Detroit. I think Detroit can easily win this series, just as easily I think the Knicks can win this series. This is probably one of the biggest toss-ups of the first round, maybe the biggest, because the time I'm recording this, the only ones that are confirmed is the Pacers, Bucks, and the Knicks. Pistons. So let's get into it here. I have a script, but it's more bullet points of things I want to talk about. So if you see me look off the screen, I don't even know how I'm describing this to you. You know how fucking YouTube videos work? If I look off the screen, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my bullet points, okay? There's not a word-by-word script here. Script. Fuck am I? So, Knicks fans, how are we feeling? Because the Pistons just smacked us around. I think we went 1-3 versus them. And they kind of smacked us around all 3 times, right? Like, I'm not tripping. I know we beat them by like 30 in November, but I'm not holding a lot of weight to a November win. It is April, guys. It is April. The one game I remember being close was the one in January. I think that's the only game that was close out of all these matchups with the Pistons. And I remember being super mad at that game because I think it showed a lot of the Knicks' flaws this season. The Knicks had some slow offensive sets that game. They had a bad fourth quarter, that if I can remember correctly, and just a lot of sloppy defense. Like, how many fucking threes? How many teams are gonna have like generational nights from 3 against the Knicks until we change something? When's that gonna change? This video, I'm gonna try really hard to not just turn into a Knicks rant, but this team pisses me off so much, dude. You have no idea. I think a big X factor for this game, there's a couple. I think Cat's gonna be a big X factor. Like, he can't be a playoff dropper like he has been before. We kind of need last year's Cat until... Did he play well? Let me look this up. Did Cat play well in the playoffs last year? Did Cat play well? So against Dallas, he started out a little rough, but he ended the series pretty well. Had 28 points in their last loss. But I remember the Denver series. Yeah, the Denver series he played very well. That's what I remember. In Phoenix, of course, he played pretty well as well. He had 28 points in the closeout win. He pretty much had one bad game against Denver, and they lost that game by a lot. But every game he played well, and they won. Which is what we need from him. We need that Karl-Anthony Towns. We do not need early playoffs Karl-Anthony Towns, where he was known as a playoff dropper. Very similar to Julius Randle. Sorry. Who else is the next factor? Mikal Bridges needs to, like, tee the fuck up and stop being so inconsistent. I think he can be very good, but hasn't been. Yeah, we just need consistency from Mikal. I need his defense to be a lot better, too. Like, we're supposed to have the best defensive wing combo in the NBA, and OG has held up his part of the deal pretty well this season. I don't think Mikal has. I don't like what I see from him defensively a lot, so I'd like to see him improve. He has a lot of pressure on him, too. The spotlight is on Mikal Bridges the most, probably, on our team, to perform well, and if he does, I think the Knicks win this handedly. The problem is, I don't think he will, so I do not think the Knicks will win this series handedly. Brunson, I expect him to play to his standard. I think Brunson is a playoff elevator at this point. I think he's proven it. Even if he starts a series slow like he did last year in Philly, I think he'll get it going. So I'm not really worried about Jalen Brunson. I'm not worried about Josh Hart. I think he'll be Josh Hart. OG is a tough one. I think OG is a measurable X factor if Suni is in the building. So let's get her in the building, and I think the Knicks would win this in 5. Suni in the building for every game. The truth is, she probably won't be in the building for any of these games, so OG really needs to tee up too. I think him and Mikal are probably the biggest X factors. Obviously, Cat and Brunson are big X factors, and everyone's a fucking X factor if you think about it enough. I think OG is the biggest X factor, if we're being honest. I think if we get like the Depoy, 24 a game, like baby Kawhi OG, the Knicks win this pretty easily. If we get, laid back corner 3 OG, not sure. That brings me to Tom Thibodeau. I think Tom Thibodeau needs to tee up. I think his job might be on the line here. Let's say the Knicks, worst case scenario, let's go. Let's think about the worst thing that could happen. Let's say the Knicks get swept and there's no injuries. They just get outplayed, outcoached, and just get swept. I think Thibodeau's gone. And I would not blame Leon Rose for Thibodeau being gone. Now, very well, they could not fire him, but I think that'd be mismanagement. I think that would be very New York Giants-like to not fire a coach that has failed so many times in the playoffs. Not the Giants' case, it's just failing at fucking everything. But this is a basketball channel. Yeah, this is a big series for Tibbs, and I think he really needs to lock in on his rotations and his defense. I think if the Knicks keep up this stupid ass drop coverage shit, they're gonna get smoked. I'm pretty sure Cade Cunningham is like one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. Am I making that up? I don't know if I'm making that up. I don't think I'm making that up. Let's do some research. Not all time. Where's basketball reference? Basketball reference. Not minutes per game. Oh my god. You guys want to look at minutes per game? You've probably seen it already. It's Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart at the top, like by a lot too. Mikal Bridges has like a 200-minute lead on everybody else. So from 10 to 16 feet, Kevin Durant is the top one. He kind of is actually not up here, but I want to hold on. I can't find the stat, but he's elite. Like I've watched a lot of Pistons game this year. I watched fucking Cade Cunningham play. He's an elite mid-range shooter, and I think that's going to give us a lot of issues with our drop coverage. I think the Knicks have to blitz or at least hedge screens. I don't think drop coverage is going to work, Tibbs. It hasn't worked all fucking season. I don't think it's going to fucking work in the playoffs. Holy shit, dude. My blood's boiling thinking about this team. All right, let's get to the Pistons. I'm tired of talking about the Knicks and how much of a fraud they are. Detroit has been a good story this year. Probably the second best young core in the NBA. Rockets. I would say they're behind the Thunder, and they're probably behind the Rockets. Other than that, I think they're the best. I think they're the third best young core in the NBA, which is scary. The Knicks obviously have more playoff experience, but I truly don't think that fucking matters if the team you're playing is good enough. And I think Detroit has the capabilities of being good enough. Cade Cunningham, we talked about him before. He's legit. I think he's going to have a very good series. Like I said, this drop coverage thing, if we continue it, Cade's going to average fucking 40, and the Knicks will lose this series. I think Cade is a huge thing. Like, if Cade is really on one this whole series, it's going to be rough. Like, I don't know how the Knicks win that. He's really good at slowing the game down. He controls the tempo of the game completely, a little bit like Brunson. I think him and Brunson is going to be a fun back and forth for basketball fans to watch. Who else is on the Pistons that's going to be a problem? Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren has been a problem for Cat all season, I feel like. Very, very athletic big, he's pretty much the opposite of Cat. Very athletic big, plays above the rim a lot. Putbacks, rebounds. He's very good defensively. He's going to be an issue for Cat, in my opinion. Hopefully Cat can deal with that. We'll see. Who else is big for them? Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Malik Beasley. Those are all players that I think are huge for them, and I think that are going to do a lot of damage to the Knicks. The Knicks give up a lot of three-pointers. I think Malik Beasley's going to eat against the Knicks. I think Jaden Ivey's going to eat against the Knicks. I think they can hold Asar Thompson, because if I'm not mistaken, Asar Thompson's a pretty bad shooter. Let me just Google. Let me do a little bit of research here. All right, and I'll include you guys. I'll include you guys here. Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson is shooting 22% from three. So not really worried about his shots. How many three-point attempts is he averaging? Can I see that, please? He's only averaging 2 attempts per game, but to only average 2 attempts per game and still be shooting 22% is pretty bad. I'm not worried about his three-point shots. Obviously, that's crazy. I didn't think it was that bad. We know the other two I mentioned are pretty good shooters. Malik Beasley is shooting 41% from 3 on 13 attempts per game. So that is scary. Malik Beasley, very scary. I think he's probably the second biggest reason that they're back, that they're so good again. Him and the coaching, I think, is the biggest reasons. And who else I want to look at? Jay Ivey, the Purdue man. I remember his run. Let's see. I'm an idiot. 40%. He's shooting 40% from 3. And on the season, he is shooting 14 threes a game. So Jaden Ivey is an elite shooter, and so is Malik Beasley. So I think those two are going to be a huge problem. Other than that, who else do they have? Bogdanovich is a flamethrower too. I think the Knicks are going to get killed from 3 this series. I think the Knicks are going to get killed from 3 in every series. That's why they can't beat Boston. Boston's like the biggest chuckers in the league, and if you can't guard the 3, you're going to lose to Boston. That's just how it works. Who else do they have? Isaiah Stewart. I don't think he'll be a big factor. I think there's a lot of hype on Isaiah Stewart now because of his fight with the big Ragu, but I'm not scared of him. I think our players wouldn't let that get in their head. Like, I see they're trying to bring back the bad boy Piston thing. I think Brunson, Hart, and Mikal laugh it off. I think OG doesn't care about anything, so I don't think he get in his head. Isaiah Stewart might be able to get in Karl Anthony Towns' head, but that's it. I don't see any other. I think every other play on the Knicks is pretty headstrong, and I give Cat credit. I don't think Cat will either, but out of them, I think Cat, he has the biggest chance of getting in Cat's head, but I don't think that'll happen. So let's try and talk a little bit about schemes here. Knicks love the pick and roll. The Pistons love the pick and roll. I think that's going to be a majority of the series. It's going to be a bunch of pick and roll. Detroit isn't terrible at guarding it. The Knicks are terrible at guarding it. Like I mentioned before, I think it's going to be a big issue for them. I think the drop coverage is going to kill them. I think Cade is going to lace a bunch of middies and score 40 on us with the drop coverage. Gotta blitz that. If I was coaching the Knicks, and I'm not an NBA coach, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not even a high school coach. I'm not, I'm just a guy who likes giving out his opinion. Like, you don't gotta listen to me, but in my opinion, I've been watching basketball for a long time. I watch it a lot. I wouldn't say I study the game, but as much as you can study the game without being a player and coach and working for ESPN, I probably study the game more than those idiots that work at ESPN. I think the pick and roll is going to kill the Knicks. And I think this is the biggest thing that they have to overcome. The Knicks pick and roll with Brunson and Cat and Brunson and Mitch should be pretty successful. They've been running all season. It's been running pretty well, even against good defenses. Brunson's just a great decision maker in those situations. And the Cat oh my God, what is going on? And the Cat pick and pop is pretty elite. It's pretty hard to stop. Cat said a few years ago that he's the greatest big man shooter of all time. I agree. I think he is. And I think he should be shooting fucking way more than he is. So please, Cat, keep shooting threes and stop passing them up to drive and just get fouled. I hate when you do that. Why are you starting to do, why? Why are you doing that? Please stop. Just shoot the 3. 3 is better than 2. And sometimes you be missing those free throws, and that really gets me going. Pistons are pretty good defensively. I think they're good at rotating. I think they force a lot of skip passes and then get into good defensive sets based on the team having to skip pass, which is just elite coaching. Like, I'm telling you, they are very well coached, this team, and that's going to be their biggest power. But the Knicks are also well coached, so it's going to be a coach off, and hopefully Thibodeau can pull that out. Detroit's going to come out. They're going to run a bunch of screens for Cade. They're going to run a bunch of, oh my God, I can't talk today. They're going to run a bunch of pin downs for their shooters, Bogdanovich and Beasley. I think we'll get a lot of those. Jaden Ivey's more of a off the dribble creator. He's dangerous. I really don't know who we're gonna put on him. He can be big for them. Cade, I would put, obviously it's either OG or Kel, but I'm trying to decide who I want on it. The other person, one of them. I think that's up to your discretion. As a person, OG's the better defender. I'd probably put OG on him, but Mikel's faster, and Cade's a fucking fast ass player. So I can see why you'd put Mikal on him. One of those two, though. If Brunson's on him, the series is cooked. That's not even something to consider doing, I don't think. Cade is like that. I don't even know why I brought that up, because that's just dumb. They wouldn't do that. Cut to next weekend when fucking Brunson is guarding Cade and Cade is 50. I think a big thing about this is it's going to be a chess match between coaches who adjust more. And I think the big thing is going to be who can lean on their bench more. I think both teams' benches aren't elite. which is what keeps them from being real contenders, both teams. They have good starting fives, but not a lot of depth. I would say the Knicks bench is better, but recently they haven't been playing that way. So who knows? I think the bench unit's gonna be the difference here. I think Deuce McBride is gonna have to have a pretty big series for the Knicks. Now I want to talk about who has the most pressure on them out of both teams. I think it's obviously the Knicks. The Knicks were hyped up to be a playoff and championship contender going into the season, and while they won 50 games and they are the 3 seed, which is what I predicted them to do, hasn't been the 50 wins that I thought it would be. The Knicks have been pretty underwhelming this year. A few bright spots, like the OG run recently was fucking awesome.
Sunni.
Please,
Sunni.
come back. Other than that, they've been pretty fucking underwhelming, honestly. Part of that has to do with injuries. Brunson was out for a month, which definitely hurt. They definitely lost a couple games there when I was like, if we had Brunson, we would have won that one. Mitch was obviously out for most of the season, but at this point, the Knicks should expect that, and we should have a better bench center than Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa is terrible. I'm sorry, I have to go on this rant a little bit. Precious Achiuwa is fucking awful at basketball, and I hate watching him play. And I'm sorry. I know he has a lot of fans because he dunks a lot, and he's pretty cool when he dunks. When he gets the ball in his hands, don't you guys just like tense up? Like, I'm like, this is a fucking turnover every time he gets the ball. And he proves me wrong every now and then, but most of the time I'm fucking right. That's what it feels like, at least, or it's a dumb decision that leads to a turnover, and then it's not really on him, but it is on him if you watch. I don't know. I don't like it. I think whenever he gets the ball, his head just goes right down. He goes towards the rim. He's not a good free throw shooter, so I don't like that. That's enough. That's enough Precious hate for today. Like, you guys don't want to get me started on Precious Achiuwa, dude. I could go for hours. I go for hours about that fraud. Who's the pressure on the most on the Knicks? I'd probably go Mikal Bridges if we're talking about players, because he's just under such a microscope right now by the fans. We did trade a fucking lot for you, so it's fair. I think it's fair by the fans. I think it goes too far sometimes, but it's fair. I think there's also a lot of pressure on Cat as the season. I thought beginning of the season people would be over the whole Randall and Devo thing. Not over it at all. It's as strong as possible right now, especially with Cat not playing that well recently. And if Cat does his playoff dropper thing, we're going to hear about it. Even though Randall was a perennial playoff dropper, we are going to hear about it because DiVincenzo was not. And I do miss DiVincenzo sometimes. Randall, not as much. I miss him because he was on the team for so long and he really brought the Knicks back, but playoff dropper. So, but yeah, a lot of pressure on those two. I think there's a lot of pressure on Thibodeau too. I think if Tibbs, worst case scenario here, like the Knicks just get swept and there's no injuries, they just get swept straight up, you could argue firing Thibodeau, and I think you would have a very valid argument, and I would probably, do I take a stance here? I'd probably want to fire too. But, you know, I'm a reactionary guy, unfortunately. They probably wouldn't. I don't see Leon Rose doing that, but I think it would be more in the cards for sure if you get swept by the Pistons, especially because it's a series that you really should win. Like, I should be coming up here, I should be starting this video off saying Knicks in 5, but I'm not, because I'm not that confident. Like, the Knicks could easily lose this series. Like, it's not a gimme. It's not a gimme. Just like Philly wasn't a gimme last year. Honestly, I feel worse about this series than I did going to Philly. I thought we were going to smack Philly, and then we beat them in 6. I'm telling you. Yeah, but for Cat, it's legacy time. For Tibbs, it's legacy time. And for Mikal, it's shut up Twitter time. So I'm going to make my final call here. I think we've gone in depth enough about the matchup. I think I've ranted about the Knicks enough. Sorry if I focus more on them, but they are my team. I think about them more. I'm going to go Knicks in 6 here, but I don't feel great about it. Like, I definitely feel worse about it than I should. I'm going to go Knicks in 6. I think they have more talents. I think they have more playoff reps, but does that really matter? Who knows? We'll see. Detroit obviously not going to hand it over to us. I think the Knicks have enough to take a round 1 win. Do they move on past that? We will see that later. Series is going to be close, and I don't think anyone's going to sweep anyone. I think it's going to go to 6 either way, but I'm going to root for, and I'm going to go Knicks in 6. So that's my first prediction. If you guys like this video, you're going to have a couple more coming with the same concept. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you. I know I can rant sometimes and ramble on, but it's just my mind going. I just talked to a camera for 30 minutes, and then I cut it down to like a fucking 10-minute video, however long this video is going to be. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you tomorrow for the Pacers-Bucks preview. I have no idea how to outro these videos, so like and subscribe and go. Bye.